I'm gonna tell you.
I might.
No.
Yeah.
Pussy is all good, right? The cunt's the one who owns it. Trust me, pal. Jesus Christ. I have to drive a crazy man nuts. I've had it with her.
Your knee all right? Your knee all right?
Huh?
Your knee all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm half right and half left, but you know, it's a one word. It's just a one word. Quit your belly aching. Get over it. God damn it! I told her right from the get that don't tell me you love me, because I don't believe a woman.
What's her name?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Doesn't matter.
I was just wondering.
Woman.
Yeah.
Joanne. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Her father had that whole block up there. And believe me, she was the one when they died. She's tighter than bark to a tree. They picked the right one. There's 11 girls, I'll tell you. I'm here to tell you for free, pal. Hey, you know what the snail said when he got on the turtle's back for a ride?
Whee!
That's right. And I'm out of here. Whee! You know how to catch a unique rabbit?
No.
Unique up on it.
Hmm.
You know how to catch a tame rabbit?
Uh-uh.
Tame way. Let me ask you guys a question. Okay, and it's a simple question. Does a horse push or does a horse pull a wagon?
I don't know.
Well, you see the horse and then you see the wagon and there. Is the horse pushing or pulling?
Pulling.
A horse always pushes. If a horse was pulling, they'd have a rope tied to his ass.
That actually kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It does. I think it makes sense.
There's a harness around the horse's neck. And the horse is pushing that harness. And the rope's hooked to that harness. And this is that crazy broad I'm talking about.
Is that Joanne? Is that Joanne?
Why do I love her?
Tell her.
It's Joanne, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, I got lucky. It's another retard, though. Hello.
What did I walk up?
I'm talking to somebody that's got more sense than you do, pal. So give me a break. Goodbye. No, seriously. A horse pushes a wagon. He's got a harness around his neck, and he's pushing that harness. You can't expect that have that horse pull that wagon. Christ, he'd have no ass left. Right? Do you agree with me that a horse pushes a wagon?
I think it might, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I get
Now,
what you're saying.
have you ever heard of an oxen?
Yeah.
Well, they used to have a harness that they would mount to the oxen's forehead. And there's so much muscle in that oxen's neck and in his shoulders that he is one pushing son of a bitch, and they call them oxen pulls. And the oxen isn't pulling at all, he's pushing. He's pushing the weight that's behind him with his head.
That makes sense.
It does.
Well, it'd be nice if it was cents a million, but that's another story. No, it's just that sometimes, you know, simple things, and I believe in this. I believe. I'm a 35 years in a wood shop. I can fart and build anything out of wood. But I learn every day. And no one is infallible.
Right.
My doctor told me to stop working 10 years ago. I'm 56 years old.
No way.
And I
Yeah,
had
no way.
I have my little wood shop. What?
Yeah, no way. You're not 56.
I was born in 1960 right down on Spear Street in Shelburne. My grandfather ran that farm for 35 years, I'll have you know. I was born February 11th, 1960. My mother was 17 years old.
Nice.
My grandmother put her up on an old ironing board and yanked me out with a rusty old coat hanger, and here I am, pal.
No shit.
No shit. I wouldn't shit you. I got no reason to lie about anything.
Why did you get coffee now?
What?
What are you talking about? Why did you get
Well, in them days, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I guess so.
I
Yeah,
used to
you
ride
did.
on my grandmother's lap. We had a farm-all tractor, steel wheels. I'd ride on her lap while she drove the tractor, and my aunts and uncles would throw hay in the wagons. Well, in them fields, there's two big, beautiful homes. One guy's an airplane pilot. Well, don't you know, I went in there, and I built the mantle, and then I built the kitchen, and then I did the bedroom set. And I do it how I got 15 kitchens on that hill section up there. And they're all $100,000 kitchens. And I don't use any nails or screws, only for hardware.
What do you use?
Rabbits, dovetails,
I don't know anything about
whoopty-doos,
carpentry.
dowels, and everything them guys, them old timers taught me when I went into that wood shop right down there on Pine Street, Depot Woodworking, that used to be Hague Lumber. Yes, sir, mister. And then I used to go like this, cover my eyes, point my finger to that, I get in my car and I go and work in a wood shop. I built bird's eye maple doors for Johnny Carson's house in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Oh shit.
Cool.
That's a fact. I worked at a shop out of Bethel.
Nice.
The guy and his wife had a big farm way up north in New York. I never seen them. They'd send me the drawings and I'd doodle, rub the sticks together, and then they'd come and pick it up and goodbye. But that's, you know, that's just what I do. Well, I built cabinets for the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and they put diamonds and rubies in.
What's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
Hey, you know where the neighborhood market up here is? Yeah, that little store, neighborhood market.
Yep.
Have you been in there?
Not for a while, but yeah.
Did you see the door? It says neighborhood market carved into it, and then the sign on it. Wow, that's me. That's Bud.
Oh, cool.
That's fact. Do you know the guy, the manager of the band Fish?
I don't know him, but
He traveled around the country
I know of him.
and collected wood, and gave that wood to me, and I took a magnet to it. And he's $6 million for that house up on Redstone campus up there.
Yeah.
I built his kitchen, and then he said, Bud, would you build me an entertainment center? Well, I ended up building the whole house, right down to the bedroom sets.
There's a dog there. He says, sorry.
But I learn every day in a wood shop.
There's a dog, sorry.
Oh,
He's
Jesus
sniffing-
Christ,
I'm sorry.
don't-
I didn't mean to scare you. I was trying to warn you.
No, he didn't scare me. I just put one in the backyard, mine, dragging me around. What? What's going on? I'm trying to calm down. That way, if I see you, you know. What? Yeah. Well, you're gonna need more. Hey, listen, pal. You either give me the $30 you owe me, which I don't really care, or just you ever talk to me with disrespect again, and I'm gonna knock you out. You know, my wife used to get so mad at me. I'd be paying. These guys give me $35 an hour, paying all my insurance. You know, I'm in there, and I'm the guy who takes the prints and pushes everything through the saw and keeps everybody moving. It's yield. You got to know yield.
Right.
Right? They call it a foreman or whatever. But my wife used to get so mad that I'd quit these jobs. And it was only because I'll build it any way you want me to build it. But you gotta talk to me with respect. If you disrespect me, pal, you go upstairs and cut me the check. And I'm packing my tools, see you later. And that's, you want respect. But I'll tell you what, the next day, I had another job. And I was either making more money, but I learned something, one way or the other. And I've worked all over this country in wood shops.
Where else have you worked?
California. I was out there for a year and a half. And I did a bunch of high-end whoop-de-doodle out in Hollywood, the movie stars.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I left California with flames coming out of my ass. A cop pulled me over somewhere in Nevada, and he says, "What are you going so fast for?" I said, "Get the hell away from California." Oh, he said, "Okay, yeah,
He
take it
said,
easy."
Godspeed, sir.
You know, I didn't stop till I got to Portland, Maine. That's a fact. That's a fact. I'm telling you the truth,
I
honey.
like it.
It's the truth.
Shit, Amos has had fire come out of his ass too.
I'll tell you some stories. No, I have. That's all I am as a woodworker. I went to week school down in Virgins when I was 12, and that was in 1972. And down there they taught us kids trades. They had a big machine shop, a big wood shop, they had a print shop, and they had where girls made dresses.
That's sweet.
Well, back then it was, you were down there, you were a ward of the state. Your family either had too many kids and couldn't take care of them all, or you were a bad boy.
Trade schools.
Right.
Slash.
Right. Well, in 1972, I went there, and I ran away for the first 2 years.
From where? Oh, from
Down in
school?
Virgins.
Okay, where's Virgins? I'm not from here.
Well,
It's like 20 to 30 minutes south of here.
down, yeah. Anyways, first 2 years I was there, I ran away. I remember walking the railroad tracks from Virgins to Rutland in the middle of the wintertime.
That's a long distance.
With a pair of tennis shoes on, a t-shirt, and a pair of blue jeans, and I crawled into a freight train. And I'm sitting there, I can't wait, take me somewheres. And the cop tipped his head in the door and took me back. But an old man, Bob Young, who ran the machine shop, said, "Bud, you know, this running away thing, you know, why don't you come up and work in the machine shop with me?" Well, don't you know I got the highest award for 2 years straight in the highest equipped machine shop in the state of Vermont? I was going to go into IBM, was the plan when I turned 18. But when I turned 16, they had an ad for a woodworker down here at Depot Woodworking. Well, they wanted to give me $200 a week, and I wanted out of week school. Why, they hired me, and I stayed right there, and they did the McClure building up there. Remember when the McClure building went up? I did every stitch of mica in there, I put in there. And you know why they went under? Because when they bid that job, they left out a whole floor. Yeah, well, it didn't bother me. Dad told me, wasn't my real dad, but this guy married my mother when I was 10, Frank. He said, "Joe, you're the type of guy I know can go anywhere and make it." He said, "Never let him see you standing around with your hands in your pockets." 3 days later, I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, working in a wood shop. And that's all we did was government contracts. That's how I made the cabinets for the Smithsonian. That's how I did Homestead Air Force Base. I worked at U.S. Customs Building, downtown Miami. But this guy that I worked for bought wood shops. He was the biggest crook there was. I mean, he was a crook. I built a bedroom set for his friend down in Hollywood, Florida, who never went anywhere without a bodyguard. I'm adjusting the bedroom set. They're out back cutting a hole in a Porsche, stuffing cocaine, and it's going to New York. Well, I worked for that guy for 7 years, and then he started asking me to do. He had these yachts, cabin cruisers. He said, "You know, would you help David take one of these cruisers over to another marina? You know, troll it out of there at night." Yeah, because he's into this marina for $150,000 storage fees. And I said, "No, Harvey. I think I'm just going to put my hand over my eyes and bang." And that's what I did. And I traveled all around the world, and all I do is a whoopty-doodle woodworker. And I got to deal with these crazy broads. And this dog is a beautiful dog. And she gets mad at me. I got my wood shop there, but she gets mad at me because I still love her, but at one time we had something going. And she said I was the man, and I found out she had a girlfriend. Well, I'll see you later. She thought I was gone. And then she called me 2 years later and said that she needed the front end done on her Cadillac so she could get it inspected, and I'm a nice guy, and I'm telling you. I'm sorry. I needed to vent.
That's cool.
You know, I walked into a shop in New London, Connecticut, and I said to this old man, I said, you know, I'm looking for a job as a cabinet maker. Oh, he says, you a cabinet maker? I said, well, I'm trying. I've been giving it my best. He said, okay, I want you to build this kitchen. He handed me 3 sticks. They were 1/2 inch square. One was 4 foot long, one was 6 foot long, and one was 8 foot long. He said, build this kitchen. And I took the 3 sticks, and I went over to the workbench, and I seen all these lines on 36 on sink base, and this must be a garbage unit, 30 inch. And then he's got a drawer bank, and the old man walked over to me and he says, you've done this before, haven't you? Can I help you with anything? I said, no, just show me where the wood is so I can see the parts and get this thing going. And I don't know how I do it, but you show me a picture of something. You show me a pile of wood. I don't make cut lists. I go to the saw and I carve out the parts and I put these things together. And they pay me 35 bucks. 40 bucks an hour, and they treat me with respect, and I'll work there a while, and then I'll put my hands over my eyes, and then I'll look in my rear view mirror, and they're out looking in the road, scratching their head. Why is he leaving? What happened here? Where did this guy come from? Yeah. Well, you know, Drumheller, he owned Lane Press. I did his house out on Shelburne Point. That's how high-end work.
By a millionaire.
Well, and I didn't, like I said, I don't use any nails or screws. Only for hardware.
I'm impressed.
I came back from Florida and I said I left my wife.
Where in Florida?
We had a home in Coral Springs. I put $23,000 down on a house and paid it off in 3 years in Coral Springs.
Georgia, so we know.
Oh yeah? Well, my wife is from Cali, Colombia, South America. She came through Mexico in the trunk of a car.
No shit.
When I met her, she was working 3 jobs and sending all her money to her family.
That's what
The
they do.
first 2 years we were together, I bought her parents a house in Colombia and never knew it.
Yep.
And then immigration walked into my house and said they were going to deport my wife. Well, they couldn't do it because she had my little girl in her belly. But it still cost me 20 grand, and we had to hold bank accounts for 4 years for her to have her green card, citizenship.
Yeah.
And everything was good. But one day she says, I don't know, I don't think I love you no more. Well, I'll tell you what. I went down and sold my tools. This guy gave me $18,000.
Nice.
And I left, and it took her 2 years and 2 private investigators to find me.
Why?
And I was in a wood shop right over here in Fort Ethan Allen, building all these whoopty-doodle woodworking.
Yeah. Making money without.
And then she flies up and says she wants me to go back. And I said, no, honey. And I never went back, and she's still waiting for me to. My daughter is 22 years old.
Already?
She's 22 years old, and she works in Miami in a place where.
Miami's nice.
You ever hear of the whoopty-doodlians, the Kardashians? Well, they go in there and they spend $50,000 for one bottle of booze.
It's like, fuck off.
Well, and she gets a piece of that.
Okay.
And my little girl's a hot ticket.
Good.
Let me tell you
Good.
what, pal.
She knows what to do.
And I've set a couple of little boys straight. Trust me, she's a good girl,
I
and
hear
she's
ya.
smart. And you know, when she's 29 years old, she's gonna have her own doctor's practice. People are gonna come to her, and she's gonna send them, you know, check them out and send them to, you know, the big house or wherever they gotta go. And it's gonna be her business. And she's done it. She's everything she said she's doing. She's doing it, and she's so on the ball.
Really well.
What's her name?
Karen.
Karen. What is my sister's name?
Oh, she's beautiful.
Dr. Karen.
She's the only thing that keeps me going.
Great name.
Yes,
Nice.
Dr.
And what's
Karen.
your name?
Yeah,
What's your name?
me,
Yeah.
Bud.
Bud.
No, good.
That's my name.
I'm Christy.
Hi, how you doing?
My sister is Karen.
Really?
So I hear you. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of caring going on.
There is.
Let me tell you a story. Let me run this by you.
I don't know.
I'm sitting, and I'm looking out the window,
Okay.
and in the distance is the planet Earth. And there's all these little specks running around trying to figure out what it's all about. And the answer is so easy that I'm laughing about it with my friends.
Yeah.
And you know what the answer is?
What?
Love.
Exactly. So
God
it's
is
so
in
obvious.
everyone's heart.
What is wrong with people?
But I'll tell you what, there is also a hell.
I know. I hear you. I feel it.
It's all,
I don't wanna
it's
be
all,
in it.
if you got it, if you got, well, God is in everyone's heart, but
Can I have one?
like me, if I watch TV and I see somebody, I can't watch it, hurt somebody. I don't know why that is, because my grandfather was one mean son of a bitch.
So is
He
mine.
ran that farm down there for 35 years, and I'll tell you what, for free.
Yeah.
Nobody
On
gave him
what-
any shit.
On what road?
But,
On what road?
what?
Where was this farm?
Right on Spear Street. You know, you go past the golf course, down
Yeah.
through the whoop-de-doo there, and
Yeah.
before the Four Corners.
Yeah.
I was born in that house right there.
On the corner?
No, before the Four Corners, there's a big farmhouse.
On the left or right?
It's on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
headed south.
Yeah.
I was born in that house.
So beautiful out there.
And there's 2 houses out in that Meadows that I've got whoop-de-doodle woodworking in.
Whoop-de-doo.
You ever hear of, well, it doesn't matter. Someday, 200 or 300 years from now, somebody will flip over something that I built, my name will be scratched down the bottom, and they'll be
I know.
scratching their head. Who was that guy?
I know.
And I'll be
I
sitting
feel
up there
you.
looking out the window with my buddies laughing.
They can all just go to their own. You know?
It's simple.
It is.
It is. It is.
But
Skip, mister, though. That dog took me for a ride. God forbid if he seen a rabbit and he was hooked to them handlebars.
for real.
Don't hook him to your handlebars.
No, I'd be looking for my body because he'd be dragging me down the road.
What kind of dog?
Well, he's half Basenji and half German Shepherd.
Oh, shit.
He's my dog. But like I said, Joanne,
Has it?
she has to be
What?
she has to be in charge.
Seriously.
And if I
Take backs from charge.
if
but
I
be polite about
nobody.
it. Be polite about it.
The thing is
You get anything you
nobody's
want,
gonna
that's
tell
nicely.
me if I'm wrong and I can see that I'm gonna fit. Well, okay. But this woman is trust me.
Looney Tunes.
And that's
Yeah.
why
No, I believe you.
that's why I won't make
Walk
love
on.
to her.
Walk on.
I
Walk
won't make
on.
love to her.
Okay.
But she still loves me and
Of
wants
course.
me around.
Well, say
That
goodbye.
guy
Do
hit me
you
with a
can.
baseball. I rented a trailer over here
yeah.
behind the old bus station.
Yeah, I know.
I
that guy.
rented one of them
He's
big
so
tractor
nice.
trailers
That guy's
and filled
so
it
nice.
full of my woodworking tools.
Nice.
Well, the guy, he's got
only
some
like 75
flunky
bucks.
over there running the place.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone and this flunky is running at me with a baseball bat.
Yikes.
And I put up my hand and he
The guy
busts
wants to
my hand.
Whoa.
No shit.
With a baseball?
He busts my hand. And when he did that, he slipped in the mud and fell on his ass.
Uh-huh.
And I reached down and I grabbed the baseball bat and his pit bull grabbed my arm and I said, and the pit bull let go of my arm and left. And I picked up that baseball bat
Yep.
and I threw it.
Yeah. Fuck that
And
guy.
that guy was,
What's his name, Mike?
his name is Stupid. That's his name. Anyways, that boy was making his way up under the trailer. And the only reason why I never laid a hand on him is because I can't hit people.
Right.
I can, if I see somebody hurting somebody,
It's not
I'm
good.
going to put a stop
Yeah,
to it.
It's not good.
But
I'm glad.
in the paper the next day, it was the bat Wielding Bud,
Oh.
and this is what happened.
What?
They took me to jail. This guy convinced them that I attacked him,
No.
Makes sense.
and they took me to jail, and I got a busted hand with a cast on it. And I'm looking at the judge on the TV, and she said, "There's something's wrong here.
Pete, will you open the door?
This guy's got a busted hand." And I went up to the police. I had to go to the police station every day and blow.
Open it more.
And it went from felony aggravated with a deadly weapon to aggravated
Amy.
to assault to simple assault to disorderly conduct. And I told him to put 12 in a box all the way.
Good sir.
And I
May
picked,
I interject?
I picked 12.
Your phone really hard, baby.
And
I have
that
to go
night they
inside.
called and dismissed it.
I have to go inside, but I wish you all the best.
Oh, I wish everybody the
I'm
best.
serious. I'm serious.
Well, I'm Bud.
I gotta go in.
Hey, you know what the fish said when he hit the wall?
David.
What?
Damn. And it's so simple. It's so simple, isn't it, baby? Yes. I've had pit bulls, Rottweilers, and they've always been my best friend.
They are very good dogs.
These guys used to pull up to the shop down in Florida. These black guys, and they'd have a big Cadillac. And they had stolen tools or whatever. And in the back seat of the Cadillac one day, there was this little teeny Doberman Pinscher.
Oh, nobody has Dobermans.
And I said, I'll take that Doberman Pinscher, $50.
Mm-hmm.
He had every worm in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you a story. I put my tools in my truck, in the back of my truck, and go to Miami because we did all of them holidays in South Miami. And that Doberman Pinscher sit in that truck.
Uh-huh.
Nobody ever touched my
They didn't
tools.
fuck with your tools at all, did they?
No. But, you know, we did that job in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We had 10 houses to rebuild in a colored neighborhood.
Amen. Come on.
We had 10 houses, and I went up
Come on.
with my dog
Uh-huh.
and set up.
Doberman.
I set everything up, and then a crew came up. Well, we put new doors and windows in the house, and the next morning they'd be gone.
Right.
We had to give up on the job because they would literally steal everything that we. I'm serious. They'd take new plywood off the roof that had shingles on it. We even hired security.
Wow.
Anyways, bottom line, I'm on the roof, and an old man in a pickup truck hit that Doberman
Oh
Pinscher.
no.
And I'm on the roof, and I see it, and he looked up and he cried. And I took him down into Fredericksburg and put him in the vet. And I said, I want you to take care of my dog. Well, it's going to be $60. There's $60, no problem. And I went back 2 days later, and I said, where's my dog? He said, well, that dog will never walk again. I said, where is my dog? And I went back in the back, and they had him in a pen with shit and everything. I said, get my dog out of there, and give me my $60 back, or I'm gonna go outside the world. He gave me my $60 back, my $60 back, and my dog, and said, that dog will never walk again. Well, I'll tell you what, we folded on the job, and I decided I'd take a trip home to Vermont, just to say hi to my brothers. I ripped the back seat out of that Lincoln. I took all the bedding out of the motel room, put him in the back.
Dog bed.
Put him in the back of that Lincoln and brought him to Vermont. And that dog running, that was one running dog.
Woo!
And I took that dog, and my mother was scared of the Doberman.
Oh,
But he was the
Doberman
friendliest dog.
Yes, precious babies.
He was the
I used to walk
friendliest.
a Doberman.
You know what I did? I gave him to an old man who owned a farm way up in Whoopty-Doodleville.
Uh-huh.
And that dog would just run.
Oh.
And I went back to Florida, but I let that dog, I took him out of hell and brought him to God's country. And he saved me. And he walked, he ran.
What was his name?
That was Zeke, the sneak
Zeke
freak.
the sneak
Yeah,
freak.
well, yeah, that was Zeke.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Zeke. God dang, he's probably still running up on that Whoopty-Doodle farm up
I
there.
hope so. Just really doodling it up.
Anyways,
You have a good night. Enjoy this. Enjoy the
Stay
weather.
safe.
Safe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I don't know. It used to be safe in Vermont. I feel safe. Nothing bothers me. I ain't scared of nothing. Trust me. Because I've got nothing to be scared of. I mean, not saying I ain't done wrong. I'll tell you one thing I did. And I kick myself in the ass for it every time. My wife was standing at the top of the stairs and I was at the bottom and I called her a cunt. And the look in her eye that she gave me.
The last time you called her a
And
cunt,
I
huh?
still kick myself in the ass. I do.
Yeah. That happened.
Oh. I gotta calm down. Just
Yeah, you do.
It's just that people, they think they're more than people. And I won't take no shit from nobody. And I ain't gonna give no shit from nobody.
Yeah.
And I don't want nothing for nothing from nobody. You know what I'm saying? And it just hurts my feelings that, like Joanne, I'll never make love to her again. She'll always love me and wish that I would, but I can't because she lied to me. You know what I mean? And that part's over. I mean, there's got to come to a point where, I mean, all I want is love and respect. I damn sure ain't gonna take no shit from nobody. I work too hard. And my doctor told me to stop working 10 years ago. And I went into Social Security and they said, hey, what are you crazy? Get back to work. I went and told my doctor and he wrote a letter and checks have been coming. Because when I was 6 years old, my grandfather had an old-fashioned chewing tobacco cancer. He had no skin on the side of his face. He used to put a sponge over the side of his face and eat solid food. And this is why I've got a gift. God gave me a gift. I see the parts in the wood. You know what happened? He said, Henry, you take Donnie over to the chicken coop. You stay there till Mom comes and get you. Buddy Joe, you come with me. He says, I want you to look me in the eye. I'm 6 years old. He said, I want you to look me in the eye. He said, you will always remember me and you will forever feel my pain. And he took a .32-40 rifle, stuck it through the hole in the side of his face to the roof of his mouth and pulled the trigger. I was 6 years old and my Aunt Minnie brought me down to the brook and washed the blood off me. And I never told that story to anybody, except for one man and a couple of other guys like you. Because this, you know, I mean, it's been, I mean, I always remembered standing next to him in the rifle. But a year ago, it all came back to me. And every time I close my eyes, I see that man put that rifle through the hole inside of his face to the roof of his mouth and pull the trigger. But you know what? As soon as he pulled that trigger, an angel came down from heaven. And he took me to where this man was. He took me to hell. This man was in hell and he was going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Goddamn son of a bitch, bad word, bad word, bad word. And I looked into his mind and I seen what he did. He raped my mother. And I felt so sad that I walked into the flames, curled up in a ball, and wept because my mother was hurt.
Yeah.
That is the truth. And then a year ago, it just came back to me. Everything, it was all blocked. All I can remember was standing next to him, my Aunt Minnie taking me down and washing the blood off. A year ago, the whole thing came back to me. I just got right out of bed. Well, now, and all this time I had these horrible nightmares. But I dealt with them. I worked. And that man said, stop working.
We smoke, you're late.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I may never know why that man did that.
Good night.
Good night, Jake.
But the thing is
Good night, sir. Good night, bud.
good night. You guys take care of yourself.
Hey, too.
God dang it. God dang it.
Yeah, looks like we're all gonna probably
Cheese
take
and
off.
rice.
No.
That's what I say, cheese and rice.
All right, I'm gonna go back in too.
Alright, good talking to you.
Good talking to you, man.
You ever need a custom piece of wood, I can whittle it for you.
Sounds like it.